Warhammer 40K is dropping a brand new match play mission deck on June 7th. And today we have a couple leaks that was on Reddit and on the internet that we're going to share with you today. Just specifically the secondary missions, how many they are, and what changes we have for the secondary missions. So stay tuned and locked in. All right, so real quickly, I wanted to talk about what was shared on the warcom.com website. Basically, we got new information that the new match play set for chapter approved is coming out very soon. The 2025-26 mission deck, and it looks really interesting, right? It seems like a lot of the older missions, secondaries, and things like that relatively stayed the same, but they made some tweaks, made them a lot better, and wanted to make the narrative portion as well a little bit more intriguing to play, which is why we have the asymmetric war. This looks very interesting, right? Little chevron, 2 boxes right here, and this is going to be the attackers or defenders rather, and these two are the attackers. So it just seems very fun to play with your opponent, right? If you're playing into a campaign, a narrative, things like that. So just a great time. We have the new primary mission for asymmetric war, siphon power as well. So those will be, the opportunity for you to play different types of games with your friends. But for tournament play, you won't be using any of those. But what you will be using is the challenger system, which is replacing the secret missions, which is really good. Secret missions just didn't work very well in the last edition of the mission deck, right? This new one is shared, gives a player falling behind a chance to catch up with either a useful stratagem or extra mission. So really nice, right? Great opportunity. So just to talk about the challengers, I won't delve in it too much, but we're going to talk about it in the future. But the challenger system seems very nice, especially for the stratagems that are 0 CP, right? Obviously, a good reminder, if you're battle shocked, you're not going to be able to use any of these. So you're in a bad situation. You won't be able to use them at all anyways. So just remember that. But Force a Breach allows you basically to Kool-Aid Man, right? This is going to be awesome. Allows anything in the game to Kool-Aid Man, which is absolutely amazing. I already have my thoughts. If I'm 6 points behind, right, and I need to get Scarbrand through a wall, this Challenger Force of Breach card is going to be used, right? So very advantageous for you, a mechanism to allow you to come back into the game and hopefully have some sustainability and keep it close. And remember, right, this is just a mechanic to keep the game as close as possible. It is also your responsibility to keep it as close as possible as well by doing your best in a game, right? It is not the Army's mechanics' fault you're not performing well. So hopefully this helps out in those very neat situations. But very, very nice to see all of these. And it comes out on June 7th. So very excited for all of these new missions, a new way of the game like we were talking about originally. So going to change the meta completely, and we'll have a lot more videos later on for that. But like I was telling you, I had a little secret thing I wanted to show everyone. There was a leak, and hopefully you enjoy the secondary missions. It really is going to be a new time in the game of 40K. So Display of Might. Display of Might is a brand new secondary mission, all right? And what Display of Might is, so the first battle round, if it's drawn, you can redraw it. And this is a must. It basically tells you if it's drawn first battle round, you must redraw it. End of your turn, so it's better for scoring now. So it scores at the end of your turn, which makes this a lot easier to complete for a secondary mission. Also, The more units that you have in no man's land, the more advantageous it is for you to basically complete this secondary mission itself right here, right? So this is going to lay into better being played for the secondary for Horde and MSU, just an army that has a lot of units, multiple units, right? So try to get them in there as quick as possible so you can get your 4 VP. Very nice. I like this one. This is just kind of a general one that they threw in there. I know that they added 2 of them for a total of 19 as far as I knew it from what's been put out there. But they've removed 1, which is containment, and replaced it with 2 for 19 in total. We have Bring It Down once again. Redraw if there are no monsters or vehicles now, which is very nice. So they really cleaned up all of these cards. I'm glad I like when they keep it the same as well with some variety or some additional cards like they did for this one, just 1 additional card. But they removed the cards that were headaches, right? Or they were too easy. Containment just felt too easy, and that's probably why they removed it. I don't know. I'm not a designer, but I would assume so. And it just feels really good having something that you're familiar with, but them cleaning it up so you understanding a lot better. And you're going to see here very shortly that Burden of Trust, I think, in my opinion, is pretty much great to go now. So Bring It Down is relatively the same, except they have the redraw mechanic now. There is no monsters or vehicles on the table. And for tactical, it's just 4 VP now for 1 or more destroyed units. You don't get to stack it up unless you're playing in fixed. Call the Horde now has been rechanged. It's been changed as well. You redraw if there are no eligible units for you to do anything, right? It's also 13 models now instead of being 25 wounds, I believe it was before, and 20 models. Now it's just 13 models, right? So you'll have to kill a unit with relatively around 15 model units, right? That's really what it's going to be about. And it's tactical, and it gets you 5 VP in total for the new call. Also, no prisoners is the same as before, but can be taken as fixed. At the moment of this drop, I believe Warcom had some information that they are going to take away the fix for this particular secondary, but we shall see. So take this one in particular with a grain of salt, because that might be FAQ'd day 1. Then we have Secure No Man's Land. We found that there is no change to Secure No Man's Land. Marked for Death, which is really a card that people didn't use quite often previously, or if they did, they drew it and they would immediately spend a CP to redraw a new one. It was always a challenge. People were always picking things that were in the back 40 you can never ever touch, especially if you're a close combat army, you have no guns. It made it a great challenge to really participate in that secondary mission. So now you have a gamma criteria that's been added. So if you don't kill the primary or the alpha, right, you still get 2 VP for killing something that you had selected on this one, which is really nice. So the alphas, the actual opponent picks the alphas and you select the gammas. And then we have Defend Stronghold with no change to that. I do apologize as well. I know this is gloss cards, so it has a glossy kind of sheen to it, but this is what we had, and I'm just happy to share it with everyone. So recover assets completed at the end of your turn for 5 VP, so no longer 6 VP, which is a little bit of a bummer for recover assets, but I thought there was a high VP count, right? This makes it a lot easier to kind of stay within range and balance of these secondary missions. Area denial and sabotage has not changed. I don't think those needed any clarifications, and they worked pretty well. Overwhelming Force also has seen no changes, but extended battle lines is no more 5 VP for controlling your home in No Man's Land. It's just 2 VP for everything you control in No Man's Land now. So no longer do you have to hold your deployment zone and one in no man's land. It's just everything in no man's land. And the more you hold, the more points you get. Attempting target is a brand new secondary as well. Your opponent selects an objective marker and you have to control it in either turn. So you get two turn opportunities to actually do this. It's not easy to complete either, because if you think about it, right, your opponent can select an objective marker that literally has half of his army or her army just sitting on it, right? So can be a challenge, or it can be something that nobody is actually sitting on and controlling at the actual moment, and you'll be able to obtain that and control it very quickly. So can also put you in situations where you don't want to be, potentially, right? Maybe you don't want to go to that side of the board of where that objective marker is, and you're going to have to send resources out to there. So this is going to be a very strange one and situational, and you're going to have to use this one intelligently. Engage on all fronts is better now if you have less units, and there is no measuring restriction. So previously, if you were within 6 inches of the center of the board, you would not get engaged on all fronts, but they removed that. I'm super happy that they removed that. There shouldn't be any more hurdles than having to do what you already need to do, and adding an additional one on top of it just makes it very frustrating in a game of where you're trying to stack points. Storm hostile objective has seen no changes whatsoever. Cleanse is 2 or more objective markers are now 5 VP. Very nice to see cleanse getting a little glow up. Still doesn't clarify if you can hold 2 of them or not, but it is what it is. Also, behind enemy lines has seen no changes, and no changes for assassination and established locus as well, except for assassination being changed slightly in the fixed selection. All right, so you won't be able to kill character units, things like that. You'll have to kill everything else or destroy everything else, and that, but assassination for tactical has not changed. So what they've done is they've removed containment and added 2 new cards for a total of 19. They've added display of might, helps MSU and horde armies like we were talking about previously, just slightly better. Don't know why they think it needed it, but they're getting a lot more help now for the MSU and horde armies. Also, we have a tempting target. It's similar to Mark for Death, but with 1 objective marker, right? Your opponent selects that 1 objective marker, and it can be very challenging, like what we're talking about, and can prove to be a challenge and simple at the same time to complete. So hopefully everyone enjoyed all these secondaries that we have. It's going to be a brand new game of Warhammer 40K very quickly, and I'll make sure to break down and give you tips and tricks of everything that's going on in the near future. Thank you so much to everyone to stay tuned and locked in to the very end. As always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I would highly appreciate it very much. It gives me the ability to continue to make this content for everyone in the community and continue to do what I do as an educator, tournament organizer, community organizer, and a friend to everyone here. Thank you so much. Onslaught Gaming 40K, where victory is just a strategy away. Thank you so much. Have a great day.